And welcome back to the Flow Sports Fix on this Tuesday evening. The stat man Jace will be coming up with local netball not too far away. Also part 2 of our interview with young Paralympian Cole Pearce and Courtney with her Sports Express a bit later in the hour. But right now the Flow man looking at local football results, starting with the central regions of SA.
The Barossa Light and Gawler. You may remember, if you're one of the older folk, that when the two associations came together, it was the Barossa and Light merging with the Gawler River, and the two leagues put up two blue and white sides, and both of them had the same emblem. They were Anguston and South Gawler. Well, they have emerged as the two sides that could well be playing off later in the year as the two really dominant weekend sides in round 5 action of Barossa Light and Gawler, when Anguston beat the highly fancied Williston 16-7, 103 to 8-10, 58. What a performance by South, beating their crosstown rival Gawler Central, who were last year's premiers, 24-13, 157, getting revenge after they lost that grand final over Gawler Central 11-68. Tanunda in the Derby up in the Barossa beat Newry 10-11, 71 to 8-12, 60 in a ripping game of football. But it was this game that gave their first premiership points for the season to Barossa Districts, 10-14, 74 to Freeling, 7-4, 46, and for the Freeling faithful, nice to not to be giving a caning in the type that they've had in the first 4 rounds of the season. And now we go to a look at the football for the Yorke Peninsula. The CMS Crows way too good for Baskerville, 17-11 to 6-9. Central Yorke Cougars in a great performance over Southern Eagles, 15-13 103 to 13-14 92 at the Maitland Oval. A big crowd there for that too. Moonta 17-12 114 beat Kadina 12-6 78, and Wallaroo 14-4 88 in a high scoring shootout. Went down to the other Wharfies over at Ardrossan, 17-9 111. And Ardrossan have got their first win for big Sammy Jacobs. And now we take a look at Adelaide Plains, and this was perhaps the first time Anglevale have ever beaten Balaclava, 13-7 85 to 10-6 66. And with Balaclava at their home deck, they also put their hand up to leave the league and go to Northeastern footy. And one of the complaints was the Plains footballers down in the blockies at Anglevale and so forth, and the clubs and the roughness of the competition. Well, Anglevale came to town and showed them a couple of things or two. Virginia showed United a few things or two, 20 goals, 18 to 8-7. And Hamley Bridge and Hummocks played out a beautiful game of football where Hummocks won 12-13 85 to 10-15 75. And another closely, but Malala get home against the old Adelaide Plains council rival, Two Wells, 14-11 to 11-14 in the old reversal of the scores. And for those on the Adelaide Plains, it's really interesting to see that Brendan Nicholas and his 1,000 goals is being celebrated this Saturday night at the Virginia Football Club club rooms with a lamb and pig on the spit. A big night for everyone at Virginia, and the celebration of Brendan Nicholas kicking his 1,000th senior A-grade goal. What is a stunning performance from the Virginian full forward. As we finally take a look here at scores from the Northeastern footy, and RSMU way too good for BBH. BBH come thudding back down to earth, on their own earth at Borough. It was another good performance by North Clare over the Southern Saints in the match of the round. It was so close, 10-9-69 to the Saints, 10-6-66, and the Saints are competitive, but they've got to win some matches at the moment, while Min-Man, well, they were more than competitive and beat their old rival South Clare 18-8 to 6 goals 2, and finally BSR 15-14, too good for Blythe Snowtown, 5 straight goals.
And from the central parts of SA, now we cross the border into the Wimmera.
The results that are coming out of Wimmera Football League, and there was some good ones. Horsham 16-11, 107, beat the Warwick Eagles 10-3, 63. I think the Eagles would be pleased with that. Their first 2 matches, they were absolutely comprehensively beaten by the 2 top sides in Minyat Matoa and the Southern Mallee Giants. Against Horsham, they played much better, and their young squad were able to get to 10 goals, and they led the quarter time score at 4 goals to 2 goals 5, which gave some hope to some of the old-timers around the Anzac Park. Young Dane Stewart was magnificent, and young Penny too. They both booted 2 goals and were the 2 best players for the Warwick Eagles. Other matches, it was a very good win by Dimboola over Ararat at home, 12-13, 85 to the Rats, 9-7, 61, and Dimmy looking a pretty good outfit this year. They're going to go right up there, I think, against the Southern Mallee Giants and Minyip Matoa, while Horsham Saints 13-17, 95, too good for nil, 2-8-20. And the Southern Mallee Giants have gone close, but not close enough. They've got done by Stawell, 10-7, 67 to 8-17, 65, and they always do say it, that the bad kicking for goal is bad football. The Giants kicked 6 points in the first quarter. They were 4-6 to 1-3, was 7-10 to 6-3 at half-time. And you can see in the third quarter, accurate kicking by the Stawell Warriors had them put 3 goals, 2 onto their score sheet, and the Giants added just 5 points. And it was the Warriors by 2 points at three-quarter time, and by 2 points at the final siren, they added 1 goal, 2 in the last quarter to 1 goal, 2 from the Southern Mallee Giants. Orville booted 5, but it was a great performance by the Stawell Warriors, with Dark and Batch being their better players. In reserves, what a match it was, and gee, these Giants are going well at this level this year. 6-5-41, beating Stawell 5-7-37. They'll be absolutely ecstatic about that to the Southern Mallee Giants reserves. In Big Taylor Donnan putting up his hand again for senior selection, booted 3, and Turnbull, one of their senior players from the past years, and Bellinger, very good Jonty Bellinger in this match for their club, and Ray putting up his hand too as another senior player. And finally, in the under-14 competition, the Southern Mallee Giants took on the Stawell Warriors, and in an absolute perler, Stawell won at 6-5-41 to the Giants 5-9-39, but what a great performance by these young Giant boys. They got so close this time, fought back in the last half. They were 3 goals down at half-time and really made a real game of it to get within 2 points at the final siren. Hallam with a couple, McCredden, Hallam and C. Williams the better players for those Giant boys. As we have a look at Horsham District, no football on the weekend. They did have a association bye, and this is a interesting premiership table. Narrajara Quantong on top. They're 4 and zip, which is a great performance from the Bombers. Rapanyip likewise, and Kalkee. So they're the 3 sides to beat. They're at 16 premiership points. Japarut Rainbow clear in 4th place with 12, and they're certainly showing some real strength at the moment, and a good squad that they put together. Swifts are going to be right up there, and so will Haribur Moral. They're both on 8. And then you go Nadimuck United and Eden Apsley. They're both on 8, but don't look to have the same cattle in their sheepfold, if that makes sense for those 2 districts. And Laharam on 4, Taylors Lake, Canaveral and Pimpanayo all yet to open their account. We'll look forward to bringing you more from the Horsham District with Peter Weir on Friday night sports show. And also catching up with the coach of the Southern Mallee Giants, Coleman Shack, on their performances on the weekend.
And the Flow Friday night sports show back this Friday from 4 till 7. Make sure you listen out for it right across the Flow network. Thank you, Flo Man. Well, coming up, we have got the Stat Man. He's looking at some local netball leagues. We're not too far away from our interview with young Paralympian Cole Pearce, part 2 of that chat, and Courtney's on the way with the Sports Express as well.